All right, hello students. We have our racket lesson coming up. So I want to talk about different items that you can use as a racket, as well as an item that you can use as a object to hit, like a tennis ball, right? So let's talk about a racket first. So I'm going to give you some options here. Now you could even create your own racket, and I will attach that to the lesson, but the items I'm showing you are just going to keep it pretty simple, where you really don't need to create anything. I'm just using objects that already exist in order to be my racket. The best object that I could think of is actually this little duster pan right here. So this is normally used to scoop up dust, so I just wiped it off a little bit, and this is going to make like a great racket, right? I could use both sides. Both sides are pretty flat here, and it's really light. This is a plastic one, so a dustpan would work great, especially if it's a plastic one. We also have a cooking pan here. Now this is going to be a little bit heavier, but it's pretty flat, on the inside of both sides, so it's going to be easy to hit still. But depending on the pan, it might get a little bit heavy. So also depending on your strength and comfortability, right? We want to make sure we can move this pretty easily and be in control of the item that we're using as a racket. Okay, but these two I would say are the best objects that I have at my house. But there's a couple other options. You can even use a book. So you just hold the book and that can be your racket. Nice flat surface on both sides. So I got my book here, or you could even use a shoe. All right, a flip-flop would probably be best, easy to hold. It's pretty light, and that could be my racket there. So these are just some common household items that you probably already have around the house that can be used. And I'm sure you could think of other items that can be used where you don't actually have to make a racket, right? If you already have a tennis racket, which some of you might, that's great. You can just use a regular tennis racket or a regular ping pong racket. That would work as well. Okay, let's talk about different, objects to hit with our rackets. And I'm going to start with the one that I think is going to be the easiest to hit. And that's actually going to be a plastic bag that all I did was tied a knot. So I trapped some air in, I tied a knot, and that makes it really easy to hit, and it stays up in the air pretty easily. All right, so you can see it floats pretty well, and this is going to be the easiest item as far as to make contact and hit. It's large, it's light, and it floats more or less. All right, another object that's great. Oh, and you can even do a plastic bag, and you don't have to even tie a knot. You just kind of crumple it up, and that would work as well. All right. A crumpled up piece of paper, that would work great. Okay, so if you don't have a ball, that's fine. Crumpled up piece of paper will work great for this as well. Also, rolled up pair of socks. This is going to be a little bit heavier than the crumpled up piece of paper, so that's why I have this next. So again, I'm kind of going from the easiest objects to hit to the harder ones. And then a regular ball. This will probably be the hardest. Will just be like a regular tennis ball. I have a spike ball right here. But because it's round, it actually might be easier in some ways, right? This doesn't have the roundest shape to it, but you can always put tape also around these objects to kind of give it a little bit more form. Same with the plastic bag. If you just have some tape, put some tape on it. Okay, other than that, I will again post a video that will have, that will kind of give you an idea of how to make a racket if you want to make it, and different objects you can use for that. Other than that, you could just kind of use these common household items. So a little bit longer video to explain that, but I wanted to make sure we are prepared for our racket lesson. So looking forward to it, and I will see you then. Take care.